So, welcome to Monday's episode of I Have a Lot of Opinions. Today, we're going to depart from doing some benign videos about anime and music, and we're going to talk about something really, really fun. Disgraced former Breitbart writer Milo Yiannopoulos. So, Milo Yiannopoulos, you may know as the man who got famous for violating Twitter's terms of service by bullying actress Leslie Jones off. Basically, he was a massive fucking scumbag. Unfortunately, being kicked off of Twitter only bolstered his fame. He got a massive $250,000 book deal with Simon & Schuster as this guy, this just bastion of free speech, fighting against PC culture, basically fighting for people's rights to say whatever racist, sexist crap they wanted to. That was the big thing that kind of catapulted him into the public eye. He continued just pushing the boundaries of whatever racist, sexist crap he could say in articles and in interviews and all kinds of things, constantly spewing all this crap out of the garbage hole that he calls a mouth, all this transphobia, even interestingly enough, homophobia, despite being a gay man himself, constant racism, Islamophobia, just all the kinds of things that you'd expect out of a Breitbart writer and a member of the alt-right. But the thing that put him in the public eye recently were some comments that he made on a podcast, which were interpreted, I believe rightly so, as condoning pedophilia. He made remarks that he was like, you know, a 13-year-old boy could be in a healthy, loving relationship with this grown man who, he's providing him love, it's a healthy relationship, that kind of thing. And he was called out by the other people on the podcast for condoning pedophilia, as they should have. At which point he started splitting hairs. He said, no, what I'm talking about is hebophilia, specifically attraction to prepubescent children. He's like, pedophilia, the attraction to, children like under 11 or whatever, like that's totally bad. I hate that. Screw that. But hebophilia, attraction to children between like 11 and 14, nah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. He made a joke about it. He just completely made light of the situation and made light of what is a crime, what is a felony crime, and he rightly got called out for it. So Simon & Schuster pulled his book deal. He resigned from Breitbart. I don't know if that was his choice or if he was forced to, but either way, he resigned from Breitbart. And hopefully this will be the thing that finally pushes him out of the public eye, because I am tired of hearing about Milo Yiannopoulos. So, to break down his argument, specifically about the difference between pedophilia and hebophilia, technically, if you want to split hairs, no, he did not condone pedophilia by the textbook dictionary definition of pedophilia. What he was condoning was hebophilia. If you want to continue splitting hairs, technically he was not condoning hebophilia in every single case. He was condoning it only in healthy cases where both parties are mature and able to consent and that sort of thing. The problem with that argument is a relationship between somebody who is underage, especially somebody who is between the ages of 11 and 14, and a grown adult will never have a complete power balance. There will always be a power imbalance between the older person who has more power and more authority as an elder over the younger person. Besides that, both pedophilia and hebophilia are illegal because they are having sex with a minor, having sex with somebody under the age of consent. Even if there's no sex, which I will point out, he never said that it was a non-sexual relationship. Even if there's no sex, there's still a power imbalance and it's still an abusive relationship, and I believe it should still be counted as abuse of a child. No matter how mature Little Miss 14-year-old seems for her age, no matter how loving and how careful the adult is being, this type of relationship will never be a healthy relationship. It will never not have a power imbalance between the two parties. That's just not how that works. And the fact that Milo Yiannopoulos was able to look at this crime, I will continue reminding you that it is a crime, the fact that he was able to look at it and not only condone it, but make light of it, make jokes. He said something about, like, being molested by a priest was why he gave such good head, which was almost the most poor taste he could have possibly had. I was absolutely shocked when I watched that clip. It was disgusting to me. And I really hope that this is the thing that pushes Milo Yiannopoulos out of the public eye forever. Because Milo Yiannopoulos has never cared about defending free speech. He can say all he likes about defending free speech, but that's never what it has been about. It's always been about being in the public eye and making money. Milo Yiannopoulos continued to go further and further and further with the things that he said, knowing that it would rile up more and more and more people and get him more and more attention and more money, and he finally went far enough that even some of his most die-hard supporters cannot follow him. It's an incredibly big deal that people previously defending him are now realizing that he is just a bad person, and so much of what he says is completely indefensible. They're not backpedaling, they're not condoning his previous comments, like his comments on race, on LGBT rights, and that kind of thing. But the fact that he's losing the attention, and more importantly, the money that he loves so much, is very big, it's very important, and I think it's a very good thing, because people like Milo Yiannopoulos don't deserve a massive platform like they are so often given, because they don't have anything constructive to contribute to political and social discourse. I think it's obvious by now that I'm a fairly liberal person. I tend to fall pretty far left of the spectrum. But I will always be willing to listen to the reasonable conservative side. I don't listen to the unreasonable liberal side of the argument in the same way that I don't listen to the unreasonable conservative side of the argument. The alt-right, Milo Yiannopoulos, Steve Bannon, all those publications, all those types of people, they fall on the unreasonable right. I recognize that there are reasonable and smart people on both sides of the political aisle. And I would like to listen to all of those people, all of the smart and reasonable people on both sides of the political aisle. However, if you're going to do nothing to further political discourse, and all you're going to do is be completely destructive to other people in the way that Breitbart and Stormfront and publications like that do, if all you're going to do with your speech is threaten people and advocate for things like genocide and other ethnic cleansings and things like rampant sexism, peddling back on women's rights, if those are the things that you're going to argue for, I do not believe that you deserve a platform. It's the same kind of thing that I say about people who are extremely left, or left but unreasonable. If you look at people like TERFs, which is trans exclusionary radical feminists, these are people that are completely about women's rights. They want women to be equal, which is something that I completely agree with. The problem is that TERFs completely exclude trans women, thus trans exclusionary. I believe that trans women are just as valid as cis women. So I don't listen to what TERFs have to say, and I don't believe they should be given a platform, because all they do is further transphobia and hate towards trans people. You look at, for instance, anti-vaxxers. They tend to be pretty far left, but they don't have anything reasonable, they don't have anything valuable to contribute to political or scientific discourse. So I don't think that they should be given a platform, because all that anti-vaxxing campaigns do is endanger children and endanger the rest of the population. It puts people, especially children, in danger of already cured or curable and preventable diseases. That's all that it does. It doesn't contribute anything valuable. So I don't believe that those people should have a platform, or at least not have a large platform, to say what they're saying. They don't deserve to be invited on news programs. They don't deserve to be invited to big events to peddle their bullshit. They don't deserve it. I feel the same way about the alt-right. I feel the same way about anti-vaxxers. Anybody who peddles bullshit that only puts people in danger does not deserve to have a platform. And I know that that's going to prompt a big response, that I'm anti-free speech, that I'm anti-America, that I'm anti-freedom, whatever. You can say whatever you want about me. But at the end of the day, if all your speech does is endanger people, I don't think that's speech that should be protected under the First Amendment. So that was the end of that rant. It started out with Milo Yiannopoulos, but it kind of grew into a bigger thing, because the issues surrounding him are always about bigger things. It's not just about one person. So that was that. I'm sure this will spark some sort of discussion. If I don't reply to everybody, please understand that I'm trying to control myself because I know that I get very angry and riled up on internet comments, and that affects my personal life outside of the internet. So if I don't respond to you, or if I respond to you once and then I don't respond again, that's why. It's just to basically protect my mental health and the mental health of people around me, so that I don't end up yelling at people that don't deserve to be yelled at. I hope that even if you didn't like today's video, it made you think, and I hope that this can spark a larger discussion, or at least some larger critical thought about some of the issues of free speech, hate speech, and that sort of thing in the United States. So I'll see you all on Friday. Think hard, think smart, and I'll see you later. Bye.